Just 1 minute ago, Britain witnessed a royal moment unlike anything in modern history. Prince William, the future king, publicly called out hypocrisy in government, leaving Prime Minister Keir Starmer visibly frozen on camera, unable to respond. What started as a polite charity event turned into a political earthquake, shaking every corner of Westminster. Began at a live broadcast of the National Integrity Forum in London, an event meant to highlight honesty and transparency in public service. Both Prince William and Prime Minister Starmer were scheduled to speak, sitting side by side on stage before a packed audience of journalists, civil leaders, and veterans. But no one expected what came next. After Starmer gave a lengthy speech praising his administration's commitment to accountability, Prince William rose to deliver his remarks. He paused for several seconds, long enough for the room to feel the tension. Then, with calm precision, he said, "Integrity is not about words spoken into microphones. It's about the actions taken when no one is watching." A quiet gasp swept through the hall. Starmer shifted in his chair, his smile faltering. William continued, "Leadership demands consistency, especially when those who serve are asked to sacrifice what their leaders will not." Every camera zoomed in. The moment was electric. You could see it in Starmer's expression, his eyes fixed on the floor, his lips pressed tight. Reporters began furiously typing, realizing what was happening. The future king was calling out the Prime Minister, live, on national television. Within minutes, clips flooded social media. William v. Starmer, Royal Rebuke, and Hypocrisy Exposed trended worldwide. BBC analysts called it the most direct royal criticism of a sitting prime minister in modern history. But the story ran deeper. According to sources inside the palace, William's remarks were no accident. They were a carefully timed response to a growing scandal inside Starmer's government. Just days earlier, leaked documents revealed that the Prime Minister's administration had quietly redirected millions in public funds away from veterans, housing programs, and into private consulting initiatives run by politically connected firms. The hypocrisy was glaring. The same government that had publicly promised to put service and sacrifice first was now accused of betraying those very values. And William, whose royal foundation has long supported homeless veterans, had apparently reached his breaking point. Behind the scenes, royal advisors had warned him to stay above politics, but those close to the prince say he'd grown frustrated watching politicians use morality as a slogan while abandoning it in practice. So when he stepped onto that stage, he made a decision. He wouldn't be silent anymore. In that moment, Britain saw something remarkable, a royal voice refusing to be ornamental. Not for power, but for truth. Backstage, cameras captured the tension. Starmer's aides surrounded him, whispering frantically. One microphone, still live, caught a muffled line from a government press officer. "We did not expect him to say that." The clip went viral. Comment sections exploded with praise for William's courage. Veterans groups began posting messages of support. One viral tweet read, "When the future king shows more moral leadership than the government, Britain should listen." As one commentator on Sky News put it, this wasn't a royal statement. It was a royal stand. But as the applause faded and the broadcast ended, a new storm began brewing behind the scenes. Government officials scrambled to control the narrative, and palace insiders revealed that Starmer had requested a private audience with Prince William to clarify the remarks. Sources say the prince refused, and that's when things turned from awkward to explosive. By dawn, Britain was on fire, figuratively and politically. Every newspaper headline screamed the same thing. Prince William calls out hypocrisy, Starmer silent. The footage dominated every major network. Starmer's stone-faced reaction replayed in slow motion on every platform, from the BBC to TikTok. Downing Street scrambled. At 8 a.m., government spokesperson Harriet Shaw delivered a damage control statement, insisting that the Prime Minister and His Royal Highness share a mutual respect and a common vision for service. But the public wasn't buying. Online polls showed over 78% of Britons sided with Prince William, calling his remarks necessary and brave. Even prominent Labour MPs admitted privately that the optics were disastrous. One anonymous source told The Telegraph, "He looked weak. William looked like the leader Britain's been waiting for." Meanwhile, more details emerged about the veterans' funding scandal. Investigative journalists uncovered internal memos proving that Starmer's cabinet had blocked Royal Foundation proposals for veteran rehabilitation programs, claiming they were too costly during a time of political austerity. The revelations confirmed what William had implied. His rebuke wasn't personal. It was factual. At midday, Starmer appeared in a hastily arranged press briefing to address the speculation. He spoke for 5 minutes, reading from a pre-written script, voice strained. He called the reports misleading and insisted his government fully supported the royal family's charitable efforts. But as he spoke, something unexpected happened. A BBC journalist interrupted him mid-sentence with a direct question. "Prime Minister, are you calling Prince William's statement misleading as well?" Starmer froze. The cameras zoomed in. He hesitated, looked down, and stammered, I have great respect for the prince and his ongoing contributions." The hesitation was fatal. That 3-second pause became the clip that defined the scandal. It played on loop across every outlet, captioned, "Starmer frozen on camera." By evening, opposition leaders demanded a parliamentary inquiry into the veterans' funding cuts. Crowds gathered outside Westminster chanting, "Honor before politics," and "William spoke truth." The pressure mounted as Starmer's approval ratings nosedived. At Buckingham Palace, officials refused to issue clarifications, saying only that His Royal Highness stands by his words. But insiders described the mood inside the royal household as one of quiet resolve. According to one source close to the prince, he told aides, "If the truth makes them uncomfortable, that says more about them than it does about me." International media weighed in. CNN called it a modern royal reckoning. The New York Times headlined, "Prince William's moral stand shakes British politics." And within days, William's speech was being translated and shared across Europe, symbolizing a rare moment where monarchy outshone government in moral clarity. As one historian remarked, "This wasn't about politics. It was about principle. The monarchy hasn't looked this relevant in decades." By week's end, Starmer's silence had become symbolic of his failure to lead. Parliament debates turned chaotic. Veteran advocacy groups announced nationwide marches demanding accountability. And all the while, Prince William continued with his public duties, smiling, shaking hands, and saying nothing more, because he didn't have to. He'd already said enough. A prince who chose principle over protocol. A prime minister who couldn't find his voice. And a nation that finally saw who stood for truth. Did Prince William cross a line? Or defend the one Britain forgot? Was this the rebirth of royal leadership, or the end of political credibility? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We read every single one. And if this story shocked you as much as it shocked Westminster, hit that subscribe button right now, because the next royal revelation might change Britain forever. The truth has a face, and today it wears a crown.